I do see busy energies in the housing environment, in the home front. Um, I don't know why that's coming through. A lot of you might be parents preparing your kids for back to school. A lot of you might be children going back to school, regardless of your age. I feel that we can be we can be like going back to school in all age groups. So I feel that energy coming through for a lot of you. So in the first 2 weeks, you can afford to lay back and have a leisurely time. The second part is more about getting back into the swing of things. I do feel possibly new relationships being re-examined or being cemented, re-cemented, or at least being cemented. Okay, some ties being taken to the next level, or some relationships. You're going to re-examine some relationships, and you're going to have to figure out what you want to do. So that sense of complacency is no longer going to be applicable, or you feel like it's no longer going to be appropriate anymore. Okay, so let's go into your reading. I'm going to keep this strictly on the professional front and, on the more personal front. The other reading that I'm going to do is the love reading. This focuses specifically on love and romance. And I know for the other signs I use a different deck, but I'm traveling and I actually forgot to bring that deck with me and I brought this instead. So I'm going to use this for your love reading in a little bit, okay? So give me a moment. Let me straighten out the cards. Okay, so let's talk about this. The first card out of the deck here is the Four of Pentacles, is linked up with your card, the Princess of Swords or the Page of Swords. So the Four of Pentacles is a situation in which we are very, very guarded about what we say, what we do, how we behave, and especially it's a finance card. It deals specifically with budgeting, managing our financial assets in some way, and finding ways to enhance our income generating potential, okay? This is what I consider a little bit of a protective card, okay? It's linked up here with the Page of Swords. The Page of Swords indicates messages, communication, possibly some news. I do feel there is an element of like distance associated with this. So this could be like, long distance communication or like over the phone, over text, over messenger even, because I don't feel like there's an element here of face-to-face interaction, okay? One of the things I want you to be mindful about for this month is don't jump to conclusions when someone is giving you like in communication, because what I feel is there's a tendency here of somebody who's not like revealing the whole story. They're holding back something and you're trying to get to the bottom of it. So you might be a little bit more impatient, a little bit more skeptical, and a little bit more curt than you're used to. So give someone the benefit of the doubt. They might be going through their own issues financially or in their own personal life, and as a result of it, they might not be very clear or like very I guess like assertive, aggressive, or even concise when it comes to the way they communicate. You, on the other hand, are coming up in this position where you're a little bit on the defense, and the other person, you feel like they were always looking out for number one in the past. So there might be, that discord between you and another person when it comes to communication. So just keep that in mind. You might not have the whole story yet, okay? The story is going to unfold, and some news is going to start to roll out. That's what I feel. So just be very patient. You might not have all the information just yet. Don't jump to conclusions. And it would be really important for you as well. So if you look at this person is very protective of their feelings, and this person is on the offense. So that means put down your guard, let your walls down. And I do sense that the other person likewise will start to let their walls down, okay? A lot of you might be dealing with an earth sign, so this can be a Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, or it can be a person in a position of authority is what I'm sensing, a person that might be a manager, a supervisor, a superior that you have to like tread lightly around them, okay? So they might come with a little bit of defensive,ness, and it's in your best interest to win them over in some way. Be a little bit more, be less judgmental, be a little bit more like attract them with honey, like take that approach where you are a little bit softer, where you're more willing to listen, where you're a little bit more attentive, okay? So that's going to be important for the rest of the month when it comes to your communication. In terms of work and finances, we have here the Empress and the Eight of Pentacles. These are tremendously good cards. The Empress is a situation, you can be male or female, where you are taking control of your territory, your own personal workspace. You're gaining momentum, you're gaining traction. You're also upgrading your skills, your knowledge, and your expertise in terms of technical know-how in the work environment. For a lot of you, I feel work is going to flow very, very nicely this week. It seems to me as if a lot of you might be in the zone. You might feel as if you've got a really good like pattern flow going, and things are going really, really well. And whatever you have implemented in the past, I feel like for the past 3 months, if you have started something new, this is the month in which, oh, I've got it. Everything is starting to flow. I know how all the pieces fit together. And I'm able to, you don't have to consult other people. You don't have to like have other people check over your work. You're just doing it on your own. And that there's that sense of like, whoever it is that's in your environment, whatever advice they're giving you to, like a supervisor or even like a person you bounce ideas off of in terms of income generating potential, I do feel that they're going to give you very, very good leads in terms of clients for those of you who are on a more commission base. For others who are stably employed, I do feel the supervisor, the superior, looking upon you very favorably because you're putting in a lot of hard work. You're doing something more like on a repetitive level, but I do feel that you're honing your skills, okay? So these cards are very, very good when it comes to like not spending more than we make, and at least like feeling very proud of our work, feeling very financially abundant and stable overall, okay? Because you're protruding or exuding this presence in your work environment, a lot of people are going to seek your expertise. A lot of people will defer to your judgment and will contact you for your to either buy items from you if you're a seller. I feel like this is somebody who makes something. So if you are, in the creative field, the creativity is going to start flowing this month, and you're going to have like a burst of inspirations, or at least a lot of ideas that are coming through for you. So, keep a journal handy if some inspiration comes through. On the other hand, I feel like on the work front, new ways of making money or old ways of enhancing, streamlining your work processes. Okay, the Empress is usually, like a deceased person that is coming in your life, showing you how to do something a little bit more expeditiously, a little bit more efficiently. So I definitely feel there's this feeling as if you're in the zone. A lot of you might also be working a lot, like finding yourself working late hours, but I feel you're going to be compensated for it. So, there might be more people going on vacation, or you might be contemplating going on vacation, so you're trying to, wrap up, like finish up all your work. So I feel this energy is going to be pervasive throughout like the second half of this month as well, where you're trying to finish up everything so that you can have a leisurely vacation, or other coworkers are going off, so the workload is enhancing, but I do feel you're getting compensated for it, okay? Now, in terms of your emotional state, we do have the Five of Swords as well as the Eight of Cups. Let me see here. Okay, so the Five of Swords indicates a situation that can be very, very problematic, where words are thrown back and forth and it's at an impasse. Things are not going anywhere. And one person's win is going to be at the expense of somebody else. So just make sure this is a no-win situation, because it's more about like a verbal, one up on another person, wanting to get the last word, wanting to get the last word, or wanting to get the satisfaction of being right. So, as adults, we feel a certain way and we feel like, okay, our opinion is right, whereas the other person is wrong. And as a result of it, we fight for the opinion. We don't fight to compromise. We don't fight to arrive at a situation where it can be both good for both parties. We want to do what's right, or we want to like argue for the stance, for the position that we believe is right. And I do feel that it's a little bit of an argumentative energy coming through for you for this month. So I want you to be very careful about this when you are experiencing it play out, manifest in your lives with a very significant interpersonal like relationship partner. This can be family. This can be like a good friend. This can be with coworkers that you have a very long-standing history with as well, okay? It's linked up here with the Eight of Cups, which indicates a situation that you are very much emotionally invested in. And because of it, when you get to know somebody, like with all people, when we know someone, they know how to push our buttons. We know how to push their buttons. And as a result of it, like one word can trigger up an old argument. And the old argument, if it has been swept under the rug, it's going to come back for reexamination. And I do feel that the whole point is you want to really think about, what are we arguing about? Are we like just not seeing eye to eye? Or is this going to be like an ongoing problem that keeps resurfacing in the future? Is it even worth investing the time, the energy to fight this? Because we can't agree to disagree. So coming to the conclusion where you are going to have to agree to disagree with someone might be a problem this month. And I feel, as the Libra, your representation is the balancing scales. So you are very, very willing to compromise, okay? Like one person wants to go here, one person wants to go there, and you're very willing to compromise when it comes to all these physical things, like physical decisions. What should we eat? Whatever is fine. Where should we go? Whatever is fine. What movie do you want to watch? All of these things you don't really care for. But when it comes to like a matter of opinion, a matter of fact, a matter of separating the truth from a fiction or like a lie, you don't compromise on those things. And it's because that air sign quality within you, you want to get at the truth, and you are a very analytical sign. You don't take things at face value. So when you feel like something's a little bit fishy or a little bit sketchy, you're very apt to dig for information. And when you dig for information, when you find out information, you tend to like hold it over everybody just to, the person that you're dealing with, just to prove to them that they are right, okay? Because I feel like the person you might be dealing with might be a water sign, Scorpio, Pisces, or Cancer. And I feel like this might be a situation where whatever information you wield has a very, very negative impact on them. And I do sense like this is the month in which we have to really think about our opponent. We have to think about the other person. We have to be a little bit more sympathetic, and we have to be as well, I guess, like understanding of where they're coming from. So this is a no-win situation. And I feel that when it comes to some type of information, like holding some type of information over another person, because you're an air sign, I am apt to believe like this might be your energy, and the other person is just like, there's no win with you. I'm going to have to leave. So be a little bit more, I feel like that whole empathy, sympathy, and understanding where the other person's coming from, having the ability to put ourselves in their shoes, that's going to be very important, okay? I feel this playing out in like a friendship, and especially interpersonal relationship, okay? Possibly even with family. So just curb your tongue a little bit, be a little bit careful, all right? Now, in terms of your spirituality, we do have the High Priestess and the Death card. Both of these are major arcana cards. Both of these indicates like a situation coming to light that could be potentially shocking, that could be potentially like difficult to handle, okay? We have the Death card coming in first, and the Death card is basically about transformation, about change, about leaving a situation behind and transitioning into something else, okay? So I have here the Empress and the Death card. Both of these indicates to me somebody is coming through, like possibly from the other side. They might have transitioned over in the past, okay? I don't feel like it's going to happen this month. I feel like it has already happened in the past. And I do feel that they're giving you some messages that you want. They're giving you some warnings. They're giving you some messages regarding the power. There's a lot of power dynamics in this spread. So I'm going to say that there is something here about, it's good to have the truth, and it's good to like be proven right, or it's good to get validation in the external environment that, yes, I was right the whole time. It's good to have all of those things. We all want all of those things. We want validation for our intelligence. We want validation for our intuition. We want validation for the things that we truly believe that we are capable of doing. We all want these external validation, okay? But it becomes damaging when the information that you have is used against another person. So be very careful about, the higher, I guess, higher wisdom, higher truth. Okay, so for example, if you have some information that could potentially put someone in a negative light, you might want to be careful about revealing it, okay? Because I do feel both of these major arcana cards indicate something coming to light, and it could be very transformative in a very good way or in a very negative way. And I do sense that the other cards that we're ending up with, I feel that you might want to be careful, because I feel like a lot of like defensiveness coming from you and from another person, and then like a no win situation, which basically means that you want to tread very, very carefully, okay? On the other hand, if someone is bringing you all this energy, like negativity, and they're bombarding you with a lot of like he said, she said, and you want to cut through the rumors to get at the truth, you're going to be able to do that this month. But I do feel the truth is going to be something very, very internal. It's going to be something very abstract. So, for example, if you've heard, let's just say, if you've heard, oh, the boss, he plays, he succumbs to favoritism. He's going to promote the people that he gets along with based on their friendship rather than the work that they contribute. You're going to get validation of that, where, he invites some certain people to lunch and then he leaves other people behind, or he tells them to keep it like very hush hush. So you're going to get something like that. And it's good for you to know that, so that you can, know that, oh, this work environment, I'm not going to be able to advance because I don't play that, or, I play fair. I don't like people that are, that don't promote based on merit, but they promote based on the social relationships they have with another person. So I feel like some information coming to light, you're going to have to mull it over, and you're going to have to decide how it affects you and what you're going to do with it. Okay, so a lot of it is like this internal, I feel, processing of the information that comes through. It's not meant to be, shouted out from the rooftop to expose somebody for what they are. I feel you're taking more of an internal stance, and this is what I feel should be how this energy is handled, because we're dealing with a lot of volatility. So you want to like smooth things out in your life. You are going to come into a lot of big information, big news, big information. And the time for you to broadcast it, I feel, is not going to be this month. You can do it in the future. But I do sense you want to be a little bit careful about that, okay? Like ruffling somebody's feathers when it's not necessary, just to prove a point. Or if somebody is doing this to you, I don't feel it's going to end well for them. So don't worry about it, okay? So in terms of your advice cards, let's look at this. We do have the Queen of Wands, the Justice card, and the Hangman. So first of all, we have the Queen of Wands here. This denotes a fire sign, Sagittarius, Taurus, or an Aries. And it can be male or female, but what I'm feeling coming through is I do sense there is a conflict of egos between you and another person, okay? I do feel there is like, I'm getting like a lot of maternal energies for a lot of you. I do feel there's a lot of like maternal influence in this situation. So you could be, for example, a Libra male dealing with like the mother of your child, and there might be some legal battles coming through. Likewise, I feel like there might be some contracts, there might be some help that is needed coming through from a maternal figure. This can be an aunt as well, or like, the mother-in-law, or your mother, or a grandmother. I feel a very strong maternal energy because of the Empress and the High Priestess, and now the Queen of Wands. There's a lot of maternal influence coming through for you for this month, and if you haven't had a good relationship with that maternal figure, I do sense, once again, the energy can be potentially quite volatile. So you want to be smart about this, and you want to like use the information that comes in for you to try to smooth things out, to try to like win in a way that is mutually beneficial, that is balanced, that doesn't like attack the other person, okay? You could potentially be dealing with somebody who's very like who's very ego driven. They see things from a very like fixed perspective, and it's going to take a lot of diplomacy. It's going to take a lot of tact and a lot of persuasion rather than coercion. We're going to have to deal with persuasion to get them around to your team. So I feel like this is going to be an ongoing process where the situation itself is not going to resolve this month, okay? I do see the element of like possibly in the time of Scorpio here with the Death card. possibly a situation being held up for a period of two, let's see, we are in, we're going into August, also August, September, October. So 3 months, 3 months time in the time of possibly in November, like late October, early November, where this situation is going to get resolved. Okay, so some if you're dealing with some legal issues, possibly even on a job front where someone might be accusing you of something, or if you're dealing with this already in the past, I do feel in the time of like in that November time frame, late October, early November, it's going to get resolved, and it's going to get resolved in a way that is fair, depending on how you conduct yourself. So there are some things here that is coming in as guidance for you on how you should handle interpersonal relationships, on how you should handle the people and the energy circulating around you. Focus on your work. Let other people do whatever they want, and do you. Focus on you and focus on what it is that is productive on your end, and the situations that are outside of your control. I do feel, unfortunately, it's a little bit frustrating, but it's going to linger a little bit more. I do see a lot of separations as well. Figuring out how to manage assets, how to divide, how to compromise between the two of you, possibly concerning children as well, that's coming through. I do feel a very significant contract is being brought up for examination, okay? So that's once again with the High Priestess and the Justice card. Whether or not we want to sign a contract, or whether or not we want to disband some type of situation. If you're dealing with a fire sign and there's a contract concerning a fire sign, Sagittarius, Aries, or Leo, in the that could be their sun, moon, or rising. I definitely feel this situation is not going to resolve itself just yet. So gather more information, okay? Gather more information. And I feel like they bring with them a burst of energy, meaning they're a little bit aggressive. It could be combative, or just passionate, or just aggressive, okay? So let's look into your love situation here and see what's going on. So I shuffle my cards a lot off camera already, so just to save time, okay? Just so you know that, because I'm also going to try not to read reversals for this deck as well. So love relationships for Libra. Okay, oh, a lot of cards flew out. So we've got fire signs for sure coming through. I'm going to talk about the foundation first, because I feel like it needs to be said so that we can clear up this energy, okay? We have, once again, the Seven of Swords, the Judgment card, and the Seven of Pentacles. So both of these sevens indicates to me some type of it's like a disparate energy. This is you, and this is another person that you're definitely dealing with, okay? One person is working very, very hard at a relationship, and the other person is kind of like out playing the field, or potentially even like taking the other person for granted, okay? So if you can look at the dichotomy, the juxtaposition between these two cards, they're right next to each other. And one person is working very, very hard, minding their own business. And then the other person is being like kind of sneaky, kind of just taking things for granted, playing like that runaround type of energy, okay? So this could be potentially happening in your current relationship. And that might be why you are contemplating whether or not, you might come across this information. You might be contemplating whether or not, you need to make a big deal out of it. I feel that it's going to be a little bit of an upsetting news coming through. If you have been dealing with a partner that is like this, and for some reason, there might be security associated with the relationship. There might be other things that are, have made you stay in the relationship, or have made you overlook the situation. But I feel like this is the month in which you can no longer overlook it. Okay, this is like catching somebody in the act almost. So we have the Judgment card, and the Judgment card, the way that it's depicted here. This is like communication. This is news coming in. This is like things being brought out in the open, okay, being revealed in the light. So I feel like some imbalances in a relationship is going to come to light, and then you're going to have to decide, how do we move forward as a unit, okay? So this is not just about cheating or infidelity or anything like that. This deals with one person just putting in a lot of work, the other person coasting. So you can see how, they're working at cross purposes. So if this is a relationship, obviously it's not fair for the person who's working, right? So depending on which side of the coin you're on, you could be the one diligently working, or you could be the runaround, or you could be the person taking the other person for granted. But some imbalances are going to be addressed for this month, and this is something that is going to really strengthen your relationship. Like, if you were the one that have been coasting, your partner might be like, hey, I need you to chip in. I need you to do some house chores. I need you to help me out with the kids. So I feel like a compromise is going to be reached, because this is like the boiling point, okay? On the other hand, you're going to have a conversation with your partner if you feel like they've neglected their relationship duties. So I definitely feel this is a strengthening discussion that is going to be had about the strength of your relationship, whether or not it can stand the test of time, or whether or not this is a relationship where you both need to go your separate ways, okay? But either way, I feel that it is good. I feel that it is a good energy where it's going to like knock you out of that sense of complacency, or your partner out of complacency, and to address some long-standing issue that has been brewing behind the scenes, okay? So that's always a good energy to have. The center of the spread, we have the world, and the world is usually indicative of travel. It is usually indicative of a situation that is everything we thought and hoped for. So in this instance, I feel like a lot of you might be traveling with a partner, and it could be even a new relationship partner. And in the process of spending a lot of time together, you might find out a lot of new things about them, okay? I'm getting a lot of proposals for Libras for this month. I'm getting a lot of like proposals for going on dates, going out, taking the relationship to the next level, moving in together, taking a trip together, like that whole milestone where, the relationship is escalating to a better position. So I feel like for the past few months, a lot of you might have started dating somebody new, and you're going through an adjustment period where you're just like, okay, like in that honeymoon stage, everyone feels very, very much in love and smitten by the other person. But then after like 4 or 5 months, you start to see all these little things that they do that might like annoy you. And they likewise are catching these little things, these little, ticks or quirks. So I feel like you are going to spend this month doing some type of maintenance work on a relationship as well. And I definitely feel it comes as a result of possibly getting to know someone on a very, very deep, profound level. And then you're starting to realize as well, this is the person that I really want to be with. So in the past position, we have information coming to light, our sense of intuition kicking in. And then in the future, we have taking a relationship to the next level with the World card. It indicates to me very, very positive news that something that you thought, like you feel like, oh, I really like this person. And then they have proven themselves somehow in this month that they are the one. Okay. I feel like a lot of you might be dealing with an earth sign. It could be a new earth sign, or it could be an existing partner where they are stepping up and they're showing you a side of themselves that is very dependable, very reliable, and very good. Like it just seems to me like it's a very reliable, very trustworthy, and very faithful type of an energy coming through. So the earth signs are Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, all right? Now, in terms of your crowning energy, what you're thinking about and what's coming through as well, we do have here the Ace of Cups. And the Ace of Cups is the budding relationship. It's the budding romance. It's having a crush on somebody. Or when it's directly on top of the World card, it's basically like feeling love and affection, like it's like raining down on you. So if you can see the imagery, this is what I feel like. You're going to feel really, really good this month emotionally. I do feel that when it comes to, the external environment, which is like people you work with, people like, I guess like distant relatives, family members. But I feel like in love, you're going to be feeling really, really good. You're going to have this sense of renewal in a relationship, and it's going to be very, very positive. And it's as a result of either somebody sharing a lot of information with you, a lot of secrets with you, in a way where, it's like it takes a lot of trust to build up a relationship. And it's gotten to that point where you're hitting a major milestone this month where someone is like revealing a lot more of themselves to you, their goals, their aspirations, their hopes and dreams for the future. They're revealing how they feel about you as a person. And I feel like as a result of it, I see a deepening in the relationship. And I feel like for a lot of you, you might also be given somebody an opportunity, like you might agree to date somebody. You might like make a proposal to somebody, they might make a proposal to you to start a relationship. Okay, so I feel like it's all very, very good. So we do have a fire sign linked up as well. So I'm going to say this first of all: if this is a new person, there's going to be a lot of chemistry. Okay, there's a lot of passion, there's a lot of like I feel that they're the ones that are going to pursue you. If this is a new person that has recently entered, or that is going to enter this month, it is a very, very fruitful relationship. That's like a budding romance, a romance where, you're going to be the one being courted. Okay, that's what I feel is coming through. So this is Sagittarius, Aries, or Leo. What I'm also feeling as well is if this is a long-standing issue, I do feel that for a lot of you, you are coming face to face and you're able to see eye to eye with a fire sign. So whatever conflict you have in the past, there's this reversal, I feel, for the better, where you're able to put yourself in each other's shoes. You're able to understand where the other person is coming from. You're able to understand on a soul sympathetic level, what they've been through to get where they currently are right now and why they're the way that they are. So there's a lot of mutual understanding, reception coming through from both parties. I also feel like it seems to me like if you're dealing with it seems to me if you're dealing with a fire sign, there's a lot of emotions being stirred up, okay, good or bad. But I feel like if you're dealing with a fire sign, there are a lot of emotions being stirred up. And these might be uncomfortable feelings, such as like jealousy, such as just uncomfortable feelings as an air sign that might be difficult for you to process. Okay, like jealousy for Aquarius, Gemini, Libra. That's a really difficult feeling to process because it makes you uncomfortable. I feel so there might be just a surge of emotion, passion, emotions. It's very raw. That's what it seems like to me. Being stirred up with a fire sign, you might get a little bit defensive. They might get a little bit defensive. And in the past, you both have like crossed each other in a way that was not altogether harmonious. So I feel like if this is a past partner, there can be a compromise and a truce that can be had, okay? On the other hand, I'm going to say this, and this is, of course, only going to be for a very, very small minority of you, okay? And if you're the third party, it's going to come to light this month, okay? So be careful about how you tread, where you tread. And I'm going to say this as well. If you're a third party and you're coupled up with a water sign and you're like the Mr. or the Mrs. knowingly, and this is, I feel, you might be wedged in between somebody's raging battle. Okay. So if you're dealing with a water sign, you might be wedged in between that water sign and their partner, or that water sign and whoever it is that they're dealing with. I feel some information being brought to light, and this is like usually the confrontation card in this deck. It's like somebody being caught doing so in a compromising situation, and they have to like find a way to rectify the situation. So just be very careful about not wedging yourself in between other partners, and doing some damage control, or at least getting yourself in that point where you protect yourself. Okay. What I do feel though, for especially singles, if you are single and you haven't been actively dating, and this is something I got a lot from people, they're saying that the readings are not geared towards single. Well, if you're single and you're dating, then this is applicable to you. If you're like actively putting yourself out there in a position where you are going to be looking for people, like, via online dating, via social media, via going out socializing a lot in order to encounter the right person, then this is the energy that is most applicable to you if you're single. I definitely feel we have potentially an earth sign, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. We do have some fire sign that is on and off for some of you. And if you consider yourself single, there's a fire sign coming back in, possibly pursuing you aggressively. Okay, so Sagittarius, Aries, and Sagittarius, Aries, and Leo. Excuse me. So that's what I feel is coming through, and there's going to be some conversation, possibly going out, getting, going on a date, and having a conversation with them, having a discussion with them. And I feel like it might be a serious discussion about, where they've been, what's going on, and why they're like breezing in and out of your life. So I feel that's coming through. If you're if you're dating or seeing, or you have some really good potential prospects here, I see like earth sign and a water sign, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. So you've got a lot of options here, but I feel like um, if you are in a long-standing relationship, okay, or you just started dating somebody, but you consider yourself in a relationship, there will be some maintenance work that needs to happen. Meaning that, the roles in the relationship, if you're living together, you're going to have to like set up some type of a schedule where one person does, the dishes, the other person takes out the trash, one person has to like, I feel like some mundane maintenance tasks being brought into the relationship because one person feels as if they're doing all the work and the other person is coasting. So that's what I feel. And the energy is very good for that. Okay. I do feel it's going to be a very good month for you, especially those of you who are single. You've got quite a few assertive people coming into the mix. I feel like for a lot of you, you have a crush on somebody. You have a crush on someone, and they might not be completely severed, like they might not be divorced just yet, or you have a crush on someone, and they're just like, I'm gonna wait until you're divorced. So you might be the one that's attached, and they're waiting on you. So I definitely feel the burst of new energy in terms of love, in terms of like taking a relationship to the next level as well. Okay, so overall, very very good energies coming through.